So the now time has come, so the next session starts from now on. Dr. Kazunori Minamikawa from JIRCAS will be the moderator of the sessions, supported by Dr. Keiichi Hayashi. Please give a round of applause.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, please seated. Okay, I'm Kazu Minamikawa, JIRCAS, and Dr. Keiichi Hayashi is the moderator for the next 3 topics in this afternoon. And I'd like to invite first speaker, Mr. Ali Pramono from Indonesia. He is now our standardization analyst at the Indonesian Agricultural Environment Instrument Standard Testing Institute under the Ministry of Agriculture. His presentation title is Greenhouse Gas Mitigation by Water Management in Indonesian Rice Field. Floor is yours, please.
Thank you, Dr. Minamikawa. I would like to thank for FFTC for my invitation to be here, and I am very excited to meet you all of the greenhouse gas emission export and heavy metal absorption from in the world. I prepare my slide presentation with Ibu Sri Mulyani. She is from Agriculture Extension Center. We are from Ministry of Agriculture. This is the outline I want to say today. For the introduction, the methane emission from Indonesian rice field in 2022 was estimated to be 29 million ton CO2 equivalent, or 22% from agriculture sector emission. It was 90 million ton CO2 equivalent. Methane from paddy field contributes the highest to agriculture sector emission, followed by emission from enteric fermentation and nitrous oxide directly from soil and from livestock manure. The irrigation system applied by Indonesian farmer is generally continuously flooded, which requires large amount of water. We know that it is estimated that the water requirement to produce 1 kilogram of rice require around 2,500 liters of water. Continuous flooding irrigation is not only wasteful of water, but also it has an impact on increasing GHG emission, so the rice field play an important role in sustainable food security. This is Indonesian Ministry of Agriculture reported that the rice harvested are to be 10.5 million hectare in 2022. We have 7.4 million hectare of rice field area. 4 million hectare is irrigated area. The highest harvested area for methane emission from rice field was on island of Java, especially West Java, East Java, and Central Java. This is the table emission reduction achievement of Ministry Agriculture program. Yeah, this data approved by Ministry of Environment and Forestry. Number 1 is biogas program and related rice cultivation. For number 4, integrated crop management and irrigation, intermittent irrigation as a component in ICM, NSRI, water management action, and low methane emission varieties reduce 5 million ton CO2 equivalent. Yeah. We know that GHG emission from rice field is influenced by several factors, and water management practices and fertilizer has a great effect on greenhouse gas emission, especially methane. This is alternate wetting and drying. As mentioned previously speaker, I want to add that the field was reflooded to 5 centimeters whenever the surface water level naturally reached 15 centimeters below the soil surface until the final drainage, except the heading stage and a few days after weed management and fertilizer application. This picture below water tube or piezometer, we use it. This is the impact of AWD. We know AWD could not save water, but also help to increase grain yield. But another scientist may be saying that AWD can reduce rice yield. It is pro and contra, I think. This is the impact of AWD on soil. AWD irrigation can release soil pH by physical and biological process, improve soil pH status, but AWD may have a weakness. AWD may be unsuitable in sandy soil as water drain quickly. Yeah, and then AWD lead to particle cementation, yeah, and soil compaction. This is the weakness of the AWD. It will encourage wheat growth. Wheat infestation was more serious in AWD plot, which increased the labour cost for weeding. Due to this excessive wheat infestation, it will favor yields. Okay, this is related with research about AWD in Indonesia. In 2013 up to 2016, we have conducted the research AWD in MIRSA-2 collaboration with Dr. Minamikawa. Yeah, based on the result, three water management treatment were tested. Continuous flooding, AWD 15 centimeter, AWD site specific with 25 centimeter. The result revealed that both AWD and AWD site specific reduce methane emission by 35% and 38% respectively compared to CF. In dry season, it is easy to adjust the surface water depth, but in the rainy season, drainage may be difficult depending on the location and weather condition. Yeah, based on the water level measurement, yeah, AWD could save water up to 20%, and the number of drainage, there's a positive correlation of reduction methane emission. And then AWD were not significantly effect on the rice yield. In 2018 up to 2022, we collaboration in MIRSA-3 experiment. Yes, this is the table, the average of GHG emission, global warming potential, yield, and yield scale global warming potential under water management and organic amendment. Yeah. Based on the result, AWD reduced methane and global warming potential without reducing rice yield for 6 growing season. It is more than 30% reduction of global warming potential. AWD increased grain yield by 7% compared to CF treatment. Yeah, we know that organic amendment stimulate rice growth and enhance rice yield in AWD condition significantly. Water saving with AWD treatment, with and without organic amendment, was 22% compared to CF. The AWD condition effectively reduced by use of irrigation water by 44 and 49% in organic amendment and without organic amendment. So to develop AWD technology, it is necessary to do innovative approach of mapping climate suitability based on the spatial information of rice field, planting calendar, soil characteristic, rainfall and temperature, and also farmers' socioeconomics. And then AWD technique in rice cultivation with AWD must be combined with organic soil amendment to increase stability, improve soil structure and aggregation, increase water holding capacity, and modify nutrient cycle, such as compost and biochar. Yeah, this is biochar as organic amendment has benefit to improve physical, chemical, and biological soil properties. The amount of surface area and extensive porosity of biochar provide a safe habitat for microorganisms, and it will promote the development of soil microbial life, which can allow for greater nutrient uptake by plants. Due to its ability to retain soil nutrient for a long period of time, biochar reduces the need of chemical fertilizer, so it will mitigate N2O and CO2 emission. And also biochar increase soil carbon sequestration. This is the carbon sequestration potential from agricultural waste as biochar. We calculate this potential from agricultural waste such as palm oil, empty fruit branch and palm oil fronds, also rice and corn. Yeah, palm oil with its byproduct has carbon sequestration potential. Yeah, we calculate the it's around 10 million ton CO2 equivalent per year, and also from palm oil front, it can be 13 million ton CO2 equivalent per year. From the rice husk, we will have 5 million ton CO2 equivalent per year, and corn 3 million ton CO2 equivalent per year. If we could implement 10% only from the potential, we have 6 million CO2 equivalent per year. Yeah, we hope. And then we are going to AWD implementation in Indonesia. AWD implemented in CSA demo plot in 2023, yeah, with Ibu Sri as project manager. Water saving technology AWD I introduced and we implement in this program. We combine the superior variety with stress tolerant, with low methane emission varieties, submerged or drought tolerant, and also balance fertilizing by using soil test kit and leaf color cards. Also, we use organic fertilizing, compost, and in-situ composting, and also jajar legowo spacing, and integrated pest management. Yeah, this is the average of the yield in CSA plot and non-CSA plot. The increasing yield of CSA by 12.5% compared to non-CSA. And also, there is decreasing of global warming potential by 40% compared to non-CSA. For the conclusion is that the negative impact of AWD irrigation on rice may not be apparent in short-term studies, but in the long term, it appears likely to reduce soil productivity. Soil organic carbon enrichment plays an important role in soil physical and chemical properties and climate-smart crop productivity. The combination of AWD with soil amendment such as compost and biochar in water-saving irrigation may be effective in alleviating this obstacle. AWD technique has been applied in Indonesia through CSA demo plot covering 88,000 hectares of rice field area. So it can reduce maybe around 160,000 tons CO2 equivalent per season. To get the best result from AWD, the most important thing is to choose the suitable soil type, maintain optimal plant population, apply nitrogen fertilizing, and also maintain proper duration of flooding and draining. That's it. Thank you for your attention.
So thank you for your kind presentation regarding the field experiment for water management and also organic amendment, and also introducing the CSA demo plot in Indonesia. So you have enough time to Q&A session. So comments? Okay.
I am Dr. Sanjay Swami from Central Agricultural University, India. Mr. Ali, you have given a very insightful presentation. I have one comment that for biochar preparation, you are mentioning that no oxic or limited oxygen supply and low temperature. But I feel that it is high temperature. You check it, please. Pyrolysis process, the conditions is limited or no oxygen supply with high temperature. So how you are preparing, I wonder. Please check your methodology.
Yes, can I answer? Yes, I think it is a critical point when we make a biochar. We use a pyrolysis method, but we can get a byproduct such as liquid smoke.
At different temperatures, the byproducts, those are different. But for getting biochar in optimum quantity, the temperature is more than 500 degrees centigrade, right?
Yeah.
So it is high temperature, not the low temperature. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Next. Yeah.
I am Dr. S.M. Mofizul Islam, Senior Soil Scientist, Bangladesh Rice Research Institute. And Dr. Ali, thank you for your nice presentation.
Thank you.
Everybody knows the issue, the benefit of AWD, it is already established. Now the earlier presentation from Dr. Lindquist, he mentioned another critical issue. When we impose AWD, it might be 35 or 55 days after transplanting. But in Bangladesh, we maintain safe AWD principle, just transplanting for 15 days, we maintain water, and during flowering, we maintain water for 15 days. Very simple issue. But now early in the morning, and Dr. Lindquist, he mentioned after 35 to 55 days, AWD imposed. So this is another critical issue. Is it really possible in Asian countries for successful implementation of AWD? Please comments. Number 2, you mentioned AWD significantly reduced methane emission. That is true, but regarding the nitrous oxide emission, it also significantly increased due to nitrification and subsequent denitrification. So what is the total impact of global warming potential on methane emission, including nitrous oxide emission? Thank you.
Yeah, thanks very much for your question. Number one, we know that AWD suitable implement in irrigated area. In Indonesia, we have 4 million hectare irrigated area. And we have to study more about the soil type, weather, and we have ensured that AWD implement by availability irrigation. Yeah, so the farmer ensure to get every time to irrigate. And the second is that methane emission is dominant in rice field emission compared by N2O. Yeah, but we can minimize N2O emission by irrigate after fertilizing, maybe. So it is way how to minimize N2O emission. Thank you.
Yes, as he said, in our project, we recommended the researcher to keep flooded during the nitrogen top dressing to minimize N2O as well as ammonia volatilization. So such raw technique, but very effective in our project, in addition to Indonesia and also for other countries. Okay, you.
This is Dr. M.D. Rafiqul Islam, Senior Soil Scientist and Head Soil Science Division of Bangladesh Rice Research Institute. Thank you, Mr. Ali, for your nice presentation. Regarding biochar use, biochar is a carbon-rich organic matter, no doubt, and its use biochar not only increase soil improvement and also increase yield, but price of biochar is high in Bangladesh. Farmer not interested to use biochar regarding the high price and not economically profitable. And my question, what about your opinion regarding biochar use, if any economic analysis? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I want to share about the biochar application in Indonesia. Biochar in Indonesia applied combined with manure, maybe four manure compare one biochar. Yeah, it is. It can raise productivity. Yeah, in our study, it's around 5%, 5 to 10%, the increasing of rice yield. Just I want to say that it is possible we use biochar combined with manure or the other compost. I don't know if in the Bangladesh, maybe in the different situation about the source of organic manure, maybe.
My question is, you have any economic analysis? It is profitable to use biochar in rice cultivation, profitable or not?
Yes, we have not enough data to reveal this your question.
So Ali, now in Indonesia, biochar is not commercially available, right?
Yes, right.
So you use only for experimental purpose.
Mhm. Yes, yes, right.
But his question is, when you're scaling biochar, he recommends the analysis of cost analysis, economic analysis. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yes, I think it is. We have a simple production for the biochar in the scale farmer. We have a simple tool to how to make a biochar, and we introduce and make together with the farmer. Just it.
Okay, thank you.
This is Susan Chang again from FFTC. Thank you, Mr. Ali, for your very interesting presentation. My question about the compost, you say manure. How much amount farmers apply? Is there standard practices? And then for how long it would generate the effect of improving soil health and then the yields? And also, did you compare without organic manure or compost versus with organic manure and compost? What's the impact on the greenhouse gas emission? For example, the methane?
Yes.
Yeah.
Based on our result, this experiment, compost manure will increase greenhouse emission, especially methane, in CF, in continuous flooding. But in AWD, it can reduce greenhouse gas emission more.
It's a compost or manure. It's different. Compost is after composting. Manure is the raw material.
Yes, I want to say it is a compost from manure. So not fresh manure. Sorry. Okay.
Other question? Okay. Sorry. Last one.
Thank you. I'm Dr. Niveta Jain, representing Indian Council for Agriculture Research, India. Thank you, Ali, for the nice presentation. Mine is not a question. In fact, it is a food of thought, because methane and nitrous oxide, there is always a trade-off when we go for water management. And as you said that if you irrigate the field after fertilizer application, though we reduce nitrous oxide emission, but we are increasing the gray water footprint because it may enhance nitrate leaching to the groundwater.
Pardon, please?
If you irrigate the field after fertilizer application, then you are increasing the chance of nitrogen leaching into the groundwater or aquifers. So we have to have a package of practice wherein we have management practice for water as well as for nitrogen. Then only we will have a holistic picture that how much greenhouse gases are emitted and how much nitrogen losses are reduced. So this is a food of thought for the whole group who's working on, even I'm working in this area. So we have to have a package of practice where we increase the nitrogen use efficiency, decrease greenhouse gas emissions, as well as leaching losses.
Yes. I think in Indonesia, it is more than 30% nitrogen used by plant, but more than 70% maybe leaching and volatilization. Yeah, so I want to say that how to minimize the leaching and also we can adjust the water table. Yeah. After fertilizing, we irrigate. Yeah, maybe in the 6 or 7 days, and then naturally soil water depth will be done, and AWD we can implement. So methane emission may be drop, but N2O may be increase. Yes, it.
But
I think
my
vice
experience
versa.
says that nitrate leaching increases. So either we apply nitrogen in the small doses or with some inhibitors, then only we can achieve the goal, because nitrous oxide is more potent greenhouse gas, having higher lifetime and more global warming potential.
Yes. From me, I think we have to evaluate the nitrogen budget.
Yes.
Applying, emitted, and leaching, and change to through denitrification to N2. So now his research is focused on GHG. So and leaching maybe depends on the soil cracks, soil texture, or other parameters. So yes, we agree. We should need to evaluate totally. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ari, for your presentation. Please big hand to him.
Thank you very much.
So I'd like to introduce next speaker, Mr. Hyoung-Seok Lee from Korea. He is now a researcher at National Institute of Agricultural Sciences under the Rural Development Administration. His talk's title is Rice Field Water Management Application and Greenhouse Gas Emissions Assessment in Korea. Floor is yours, please.
Thank you, Dr. Minamikawa. I'm pleased to be here. And it seems like it's very sleepy time, but I hope my presentation topic will be interesting. So, my main focus is measuring and evaluating greenhouse gas emissions from agricultural activities, particularly rice cultivation. And this is my outline. Today, my presentation will cover 3 main topics. As you can see in the outline, first one is Korea's carbon neutrality goals and greenhouse gas emissions in agriculture. And second, I will explain the effects of water management practices on methane emissions in rice fields. We use a meta-analysis and evaluate that 6 water management techniques. And the third one is how water management techniques are being applied to achieve Korea's NDC targets. Each of these areas will help us understand how water management in rice paddies contributes to greenhouse gas mitigation efforts in Korea. Sorry. This is background of carbon neutrality in Korea. To begin, I'd like to provide some context on Korea's journey toward carbon neutrality. Korea has been actively participating in global climate agreements since 1992. In 2015, Korea committed to the Paris Agreement, which marked a turning point for many countries in addressing climate change. In 2020, Korea officially declared its commitment to achieving carbon neutrality by 2050. This goal was reinforced in 2021 when the country submitted the updated national determined contributions, so-called NDC, to the international community, setting its very ambitious targets for reducing many emissions by 2030. And this is NDC targets and the role of agriculture. Korea's 2030 NDC target is a 40% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions compared to 2018 levels. Within this framework, the agricultural sector is tasked with reducing its emission by almost 26%. Although this sector contributes a relatively very small portion of Korea's overall emissions, the strategies we adopt here, especially in rice cultivation, play a vital role in meeting the national targets. One of the key areas in agricultural emissions reduction is water management in rice paddies. Water management practices can mitigate greenhouse gas emissions, particularly methane. Therefore, improving how water is managed in rice fields is crucial for the sector's contribution to the national reduction targets. And the next slide is about overview of agricultural emissions in Korea. Agriculture in Korea accounts for only 3.2% of total greenhouse gas emissions. This is a relatively small, very small share compared to other sectors, but it is still significant because of the specific nature of the emissions. Most of these emissions come from rice cultivation and livestock, with rice farming contributing the largest share of methane emissions. I guess it is very interesting to note that agricultural emissions have remained relatively stable at around 21 million tons since 1990. This stability is due to a combination of factors. While emissions from rice cultivation have decreased due to reduced cropland, emissions from livestock have increased due to the rising number of animals. In 2021, the agricultural sector emitted 21 million tons of greenhouse gases, as I said, out of a total of 676 million tons across all sectors in Korea. The breakdown shows that methane is the dominant greenhouse gas in agriculture, accounting for over 54% of emissions. This is mainly due to rice cultivation, where methane is produced under anaerobic conditions in the rice fields. Nitrous oxide, which is often linked to fertilizer use or nitrogen input, contributes a smaller but still significant portion of emissions. Now let's take a closer look at how methane is produced in rice fields. Methane is generated when organic matter in the soil decomposes in anaerobic conditions, meaning that when the soil is saturated with water and lacks oxygen. In this environment, methane-producing bacteria, methanogen, thrive and break down the organic material, releasing methane gas as a byproduct. Sorry. Most of the methane produced in the soil is transported to the atmosphere through the rice plants themselves. Rice plants have specialized tissue called parenchyma cell that allows gases to move between the roots and the atmosphere. This is the mainly pathway for methane emissions from rice fields. Then I'm gonna explain some methods of measuring greenhouse gas emissions in Korea. To accurately measure methane and nitrous oxide emissions from the fields, we use what is known as the chamber method. In this method, rectangular chambers are placed over the rice plants to capture gases emitted from the soil and plants. These gases are then sampled and analyzed in the lab. And this is the real fields that how to measure methane in paddy rice. The figure you see here shows the actual setup for sampling greenhouse gases in the field. Chambers are installed in the rice fields, and the gases are collected once or twice a week. These samples are then taken to the lab, where we are analyzed using gas chromatography to measure daily methane emissions. This process continues throughout the entire growing season, from transplanting to harvesting, ensuring we capture a complete picture of emissions under different water management conditions. One of the challenges we face in measuring greenhouse gas is uncertainty. The chamber method is very effective but has limitations. Manual sampling and environmental variability can introduce uncertainty into the data. In Korea, the uncertainty for methane emissions is around 20%, while for Tier 2 methane emission factors, it is estimated to be closer to 30%. These uncertainties make it essential to refine our measurement techniques and validate our findings across different conditions and fields to ensure accuracy. When it comes to estimating greenhouse gas emissions at a national level, we follow the guidelines established by IPCC. Until recently, Korea used the 1996 guideline, but from 2023 onwards, we have fully adopted the updated 2006 guidelines. This update reflects more recent scientific understanding and allows us to provide more transparent and accurate reports on our emissions. This is especially important for the biannual transparency report that Korea will firstly submit the report in this year, which will use the new guidelines. And water management plays a crucial role in controlling methane emission rice fields, as you know. In Korea, traditional water management practices, such as mid-season drainage, have been widely used. As you can see in the table, I draw a red line box. This involves draining the field partway through the growing season to aerate in the soil, which reduces methane emissions. Since 1990, we've seen an increase in the use of more advanced water management techniques, such as multi-aeration, and the multi-aeration portion is increased 1990 to 2021. This practice has been shown to significantly reduce methane emissions. To better understand the impact of water management on methane emissions, we conducted a meta-analysis of studies from across East Asia, focusing on different water management practices. The goal was to assess which methods were most effective in reducing methane emission while maintaining rice yields. This meta-analysis included research from Korea, Japan, China, and other East Asian countries, while rice cultivation plays a major role in agricultural emissions. To meta-analysis, we categorized various factors that affect emissions, such as fertilizer input, crop rotation, the number of drainage events, and the duration of drainage periods. These factors were used to classify water management practices and evaluate their effectiveness in reducing methane emissions. For example, fields that use alternative wetting and drying, so-called AWD, or multi-aeration tended to perform better in terms of reducing emissions compared to fields that were continuously flooded. And from now on, I'm going to show the results. When reducing methane is the primarily focus of water management practices, it's also important to consider their impact on nitrous oxide emissions. The meta-analysis found that, on average, water management practices increase nitrous oxides by over 87% compared to continuous flooding. This increase is mainly due to the increased oxygen levels in the soil, which stimulate the production of nitrous oxide during drainage periods. This highlights the need for a balanced approach that minimizes both methane and nitrous oxide emissions. And as you can see in the box, we studied 6 water management techniques, AWD, FTF, like that. And this is a response ratio of methane emissions by management types. The meta-analysis also revealed that water management practices significantly reduced methane emissions. The result is by an average over 60% compared to continuous flooding. This is a substantial reduction and demonstrates the potential of water management to contribute to greenhouse gas mitigation in rice cultivation. These results are based on data from 161 studies, providing robust evidence of the effectiveness of practices like AWD and multi-aeration. And this slide shows a response ratio of rice yields by management types. One concern with many water management practices is their potential impact of rice yields. According to the result, water management practices led to, on average, 5.8% reduced rice yields than continuous flooding. However, this reduction was not statistically significant, meaning it is not likely to have a major impact on overall production. In fact, practices like AWD and flooding drainage reflooding, so-called FTF, were found to have minimal impact on yields, while rainfall and dependent methods saw a more substantial reduction of 80.9%. And this is a response ratio of methane and nitrous oxide emissions by so many conditions. Through the meta-analysis, we identified several key factors that influenced greenhouse gas reductions. These include the frequency of drainage events and the duration of drainage periods. For example, fields that were drained more than 5 times or where drainage lasted for more than 10 days were the most effective in reducing methane emission. This is the summary of the results. In summary, the meta-analysis shows that water management practices like AWD and multi-aeration are highly effective in reducing greenhouse gas emissions, particularly methane, without significant affecting rice yields. Draining the fields at least 5 times during the growing season and ensuring drainage periods last over 10 days proved to be the most successful strategies. These findings provide strong evidence for promoting these practices on a larger scale across Korea and other rice-growing regions. And this is my last slide. I want to introduce a pilot project that is currently being implemented in South Korea. Since 2022, we've been evaluating the combination of mid-season drainage and intermittently drainage in rice fields over the countries. This project is testing real-time water management systems to reduce methane emission while maintaining rice yields. The aim is to establish scalable, region-specific best practices for low-carbon rice farming. Over the next few years, the results of these projects will help refine our understanding of the most effective water management practices and will contribute to the development of national policies for reducing agricultural emissions. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you.
So, thank you, Mr. Lee. You also have enough time to Q&A. So, okay, first. Lady, second.
Thank you, Mr. Presenter, for your nice presentation. In your presentation, you mentioned AWD increase about 80% nitrous oxide emission. On the other hand, AWD reduced about 60% methane emission. I think it might be confusing. It should be better if we mention global warming potential carbon dioxide equivalent, then we can easily understand what is the impact of AWD to reduce total GHG emission.
Right.
Please comment. Thank you.
Very great question. In my presentation, I didn't prepare the total GWP. I also evaluate the methane and nitrous oxide to equivalent into carbon dioxide. And I also evaluate total global warming potential. So the last studies, this is the table that I, can you show the, yes. In this table, you can see the GWP.
But there is no mitigation potential here.
Only mention.
You mentioned AWD increase about 80% nitrous oxide.
Yes.
On the other hand, AWD reduced 60% methane.
Right.
Somebody may be confused. Either it
Okay.
nitrous oxide or reduce methane. If you consider the result.
Okay. Yeah, you understand.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah. You mean only methane and nitrous oxide results don't show how the effective water management, right? Okay.
Okay, so you should calculate the CO2 equivalent emission later.
Right.
Yeah, it's okay. Next.
Thank you, Lee, for an overview of Korean greenhouse gas emission scenarios over the year. My first question is, like, riding the tier level in GHG inventories is reducing the uncertainty. But you said that when you rode the tier level from tier 1 to tier 2, the uncertainty increased to approximately 10%. That is surprising to me. And then second thing, in your meta-analysis, you said that you're using pot studies also. When you selected the search string or you selected the exclusion and inclusion criteria, you have used pot study as well as field studies. But when we do the pot study, they are not representative of the field studies, because whatever result we get in pot studies may not be the true representations. Those are the initial studies which we see the results and then we take it to the field. So my suggestion would be that for meta-analysis, to have a better picture, we should not consider pot studies for the meta-analysis. We should take only field studies. And another thing was...
Okay, one by one.
Okay, the first question is, our country-specific factors uncertainty is over 10%, and the literature 20%. But I think the 30% is not the higher uncertainties than other countries. It is just the literature practices, and we developed how to exactly calculate uncertainties. So the 30% is more than accurate data, I think. And I forgot your second question.
Second question is related to inclusion of pot studies in meta-analysis.
You mean
She means the number only 4 is not enough for meta-analysis, right?
No, not. Pot studies should not be used in the meta-analysis because they are not the true representation of the field conditions. So better to use field experimental data instead of pot studies data. And third one was, you said that the rainfall is decreasing the yield by 18%.
Right.
So is it the stage at which rainfall is taking place, maybe at the reproductive stage, the rainfall is more and then yield are reduced because of that?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you're saying. How about,
in one of the table, you said that the effect size of rainfall is minus 18% for yield.
in rice yield, right?
Yes, rice.
Okay.
Yeah, here, approximately 19%.
Rainfall is not 18% reduction.
Yeah, this shows minus 18.9%. It's a response ratio. So did you study the stages at which rainfall was taking place? Like, is it reproductive stage, or at what stage rainfall was affecting giving the response ratio so high?
No, I just analyzed the literature reviews and the results only. I didn't experiment another data. It just show how it just only East Asia literature results, and I just collect and summarize the results only.
My suggestion would be just review those papers again, where the rainfall yield reduction is mentioned, and just try to find out the stages at which more rainfall was there and why the yield reduction was there when you're doing the meta-analysis.
Okay, thank you for your suggestion.
Thank you.
So irrigated condition and rain-fed condition should be separated?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, other question or comments? Okay, Shirato-san.
Okay, my question is about water management. Can you show the slide, that slide again? We just showed. This AWD we all know, but FDF, FDFM, FWI, such kind of water management is not very familiar. So is this meta-analysis, you collected data from East Asia country, Korea, China, Japan?
Right. I searched Global Scholar and Science Direct and other many papers. Yeah.
Okay. So for example, in Japan, we have a prolonging mid-season drainage. So mid-season drainage, for example, can be classified which one? So my question is, could you
FDF?
FDF.
It's similar, very mid-season drainage. FDF is like I think
single drainage.
Yeah.
Flooding, drainage, reflooding. Okay. So mid-season drainage is classified into FDF. FDFM?
This is about nitrous oxide. When you do FDF, and this is about methane reduction by FDF and other water managements. The results show that FDF reduced methane emission about 40%, but the number of I could prepare is just only 80 numbers of paper, right?
Okay.
And the total number of I surveyed is 161.
Okay, from 3 countries.
Right.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, no online. And, I have one question about the adoption ratio of multiple aeration in Korea. You said the proportion is increasing
Right.
recently.
Right.
I want to know why increasing the ratio.
This is our policies, also related with our policies. We want to increase this multi-aeration, and the government tried to achieve this target. So we put the multi-aeration portions more increased than other managements.
So are there any incentives for farmer? Farmer can get something, subsidy or something?
We have also have an increase, credit.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Lee. Please give him
Thank
a
you
big
very
hand.
much.
Okay. I'd like to invite the last speaker of this session, Dr. Taro Izumi from JIRCAS. Actually, he's my immediate boss. And so he's now our project leader and the research representative of the SATRES project. And today he will introduce his research entitled Development and Social Implementation of Greenhouse Gas Emission Reduction Technologies in Paddy Fields by establishing a large paddy area water management system in Cambodia. Floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Minamikawa-san. My name is Taro Izumi from Japan International Research Center for Agricultural Sciences, JIRCAS. And I am the principal investigator of the projects which implementing in Cambodia. Today I would like to introduce this project. This project is a part of the Science and Technology Research Partnership for Sustainable Development, or SATREPS, which Japanese government program and that promote international joint research. This SATREPS is managed by Japan JST, Japan Science and Technology Agency, and JICA, Japan International Cooperation Agency. The official name of this project is the Project for Development and Social Implementation of Greenhouse Gas Emission Reduction Technologies in Paddy Field of Western Sub Lake by establishing a large paddy area water management system. This project has just started in this April and continue 5 years. And because the official name of this project is too long, we have created a nickname of this project as Rice GX SATREPS. And we have also created a logo which images the idea bringing about a green transformation starting from rice paddy field. This project is one of the core projects of the ASEAN-Japan Midori Cooperation Plan, which adopted at the ASEAN-Japan Ministers of Agriculture and Forestry meeting, which held last year in Kuala Lumpur. The ASEAN-Japan Midori Cooperation Plan aims to strengthen cooperation toward enhancing resilient and sustainable agriculture and food systems through innovation in order to ensure regional food security. This slide describes project background. Cambodia is highly vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. In Cambodia, greenhouse gas emissions from the agricultural sector, especially from rice cultivation, are high. Thus, emission reduction of 42% with 10% from the agricultural sector have been planned in 2030 for Cambodia under the NDC, National Determined Contribution. Further, the long-term strategy for carbon neutrality of Cambodia reported the development of alternate wetting and drying, AWD practice, which is the effective intermittent irrigation water management practice to reduce methane emissions from paddy field. Additionally, Cambodia and Japan have joined the Global Methane Pledge, which is an international initiative to address climate change. This slide explains methane emission as affected by water management. Methane is produced from labile organic carbon by microbes under reductive soil conditions that is developed by continuous flooding. Drainage supplies oxygen into the soil, thereby ceasing microbial methane production. In recent years, alternate wetting and drying, AWD practice has attracted attention as a climate change mitigation measure in the agricultural sector. This slide shows the concept of AWD water management. AWD water management allows paddy field to be periodically dried during rice cultivation period, except what is necessary for rice growth, like this figure, and reduce methane emissions. Studies found that AWD reduces methane emissions by 30 to 50% and water use by 10 to 20% without reducing rice yield. JIRCAS also have conducted AWD experiment in Vietnam's Mekong Delta, verifying that AWD leads to methane emission reduction and increasing rice yield. However, the experiment which implemented so far were targeted at small paddy plots as shown in this photo. So there are several challenges to scale up and disseminate AWD practice for large paddy area. First one is the technical challenges, including infrastructure development and improvement and water management. Second one is incentives for farmers, such as increasing yield, water saving, fuel saving, and carbon credit. In this project, we focus on this part and set 3 research subjects. And regarding the infrastructure development, we will utilize the sites developed by Japanese ODA loan project. This slide outlines the project. In order to solve these challenges, such as water management for AWD is complicated and troublesome, monitoring is expensive and labor intensive, and limitations of voluntary dissemination by farmers. This project has set 3 research subjects, such as water management system, KTG monitoring system, and incentive creation. We aim to achieve the project purpose through a project purpose, which is water management system for methane emission reduction with monitoring and evaluation methods in the model site is developed and applied through 3 outputs, such as water management system for methane emission reduction, MRV, measurement, reporting, and verification methodology, and create and utilize carbon credit. And after the project terminated, we aim to achieve the overall goal, project applying water management system for methane emission reduction are planned and implemented in Cambodia using national and international financial resources, using the project result by Cambodian government and international organizations such as JICA, Japan International Cooperation Agency, World Bank, Asian Development Bank, and Food and Agriculture Organization of United Nations and Mekong River Commissions. This slide shows our partners. From Cambodian side, Royal University of Agriculture, RUA, Institute of Technology of Cambodia, ITC, Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries, MAF, Ministry of Education, Youth and Sport, Ministry of Water Resources and Meteorology, MORAN, Ministry of Environment, and Provincial Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries, and Provincial Department of Water Resources and Meteorology. From Japanese side, Japan International Research Center for Agricultural Sciences, JIRCAS, National Agriculture and Food Research Organization, NARO, Tokyo University of Agriculture, TUA, Hokkaido University, Kyushu University, Tokyo Gakugei University, Kubota Corporation, Japan Association for International Collaboration of Agriculture and Forestry, Green Carbon, and Association Global Asia are participating in this project. This slide shows the project implementation structure. This project is structured research institution, so that research institutions in Cambodia and Japan cooperate with each other and advance the international joint research project with support from related organizations. This is the first research subject, that is water management system. This research subject includes 5 subtopics, such as 1.1, project future water resource situation and climate change. 1.2, develop an ICT, information and communication technology based irrigation and drainage system for large paddy area. 1.3, develop a manually operating irrigation system for large paddy area. 1.4, develop an ICT, decision support application software for farmers to appropriately implement the water management system for methane emission reduction. 1.5, conduct training on the operation and management of water management system for methane emission reduction and decision support application software. Under this research subject, we will develop a water management system for methane emission reduction, considering water management from water stream level, irrigation district level to farm level. In this project, water management system for methane emission reduction is defined as a system consisting of irrigation and drainage facilities, administration, and farmers' activities that adjust methane emissions and rice growth by controlling water transmission, distribution, and field water levels in the target large paddy area. In this system, on-farm water management, such as AWD as agricultural technology, and water management of irrigation and drainage facility as engineering will be integrated. In addition, using this system, we aim to introduce rotational irrigation in the target study area based on the hydrological information and farm management information. This slide shows the image of rotational irrigation block. Water use in the target study area is classified into the 4 categories, such as gravity irrigation area, pump irrigation area, external injection area, and mixed injection area. And we are considering dividing the target study area into 6 irrigation blocks based on the topography and current irrigation conditions and implementing rotational irrigation. Then we calculate the amount of water requirement to fill 10 centimeter of water depth. Water requirement rate is estimated as 10 millimeter per day based on our survey result. To irrigate all blocks in 6 days, a water flow of 0.13 cubic meter per second is required in the tertiary canal. This slide describes the management divisions of irrigation facilities and organization of irrigation associations in the target study area. The headworks and the main canals are managed by the Provincial Department of Water Resources and Meteorology, or PDRAM, local government, while secondary canal and below are managed by Farmers Water Users Community, HOOC. In order to realize intermittent irrigation in large paddy area, PDRAM and HOOC need to work together to carry out appropriate water management. And therefore, this project, including strengthening and training of farmer water users community, and the first workshop was held in July this year, bringing together farmer water users community and local government officials. This is the second research subject, that is greenhouse gas monitoring system. This research subject includes 4 subtopics, such as 2.1, establish a methane emission monitoring method using a tower observatory. 2.2, develop a methane emission monitoring method using portable platform. 2.3, develop an estimation method for methane emission reduction based on the detection of plant drought stress and paddy water level using remote sensing. 2.4, develop a measurement, reporting, and verification MRV methodology suitable for large paddy area water management. Under this research subject, we aim to develop a GHG monitoring method using tower observatory and portable platform such as UAV. In addition, using remote sensing technology, we will find out relationships of methane emission from a large paddy area with rice drought stress, irrigation amount, or surface water level, and check their validity as a monitoring parameter in MRV. And this is the third research subject, that is incentive creation. Under this research subject, include 4 subtopics. 3.1, obtain and compile microdata for evaluating the water management system for methane emission reduction into a database. And 3.2, evaluate the water management system for methane emission reduction through life cycle assessment, LCA. 3.3, classify irrigated paddy areas for dissemination of intermittent irrigation. 3.4 formulate a project to generate carbon credit using the joint crediting mechanism, JCM, and its usage plan for farmers. Under this research subject, we will use life cycle assessment, LCA, to evaluate the environmental impact and farm household economy of the target study area. In order to quantitatively evaluate the impact of the introduction of a water management system on the environment and farm household economy, we will collect micro data on each process from the production of agricultural materials and equipment to rice cultivation and sales, and conduct a life cycle assessment. Moreover, we will create incentives for farmers and local communities through carbon credit scheme, such as joint crediting mechanism, JCM, which promoted by Japanese government. Using the MRV methodology established in research subject 2, we will develop and implement a model project for the JCM and return the profit from the sales of carbon credit to farmers and local communities. This slide shows the example of the evaluation result on the environmental impact and farm household economy of the target study area. The impact assessment shows that GHG emissions over the life cycle are reduced even when taking into account the additional GHG emissions generated by introducing the water management system. It also shows that even if farming cost increases as a result of practicing intermittent irrigation, farmers will still benefit because the proceeds from the sale of carbon credit will exceed the increase in farming costs. Through this project, we aim to achieve both climate change mitigation and improving farmers' livelihood. Damnak Kampil irrigation scheme, Pursat province in Cambodia, which located western part of the Tonle Sap Lake, was selected as model site after the suitable discussion with all the project stakeholders. This is the map of the Damnak Kampil irrigation scheme in Pursat province. These headworks and canals have been reintroduced by Japanese ODA loan project. This is the layout of irrigation facilities at Damnak Kampil irrigation scheme, Pursat province. We selected a paddy field of approximately 60 hectares. 60 hectares as the first research and experimental site, which is pump irrigation area. Moreover, in order to promote the spread of intermittent irrigation in Cambodia, gravity irrigation area will be selected as the second research and experimental site. This slide shows research schedule. During the first 2 years, including preparation period, we will collect data on continuous flooding, which is a conventional cultivation practice in the target study area. And during the latter 3 years, we will introduce intermittent irrigation in the target study area and verify its effectiveness. This was a brief description of the project. I hope my presentation interests you and our project value feedback from partners or stakeholders. So your feedback would be greatly appreciated. However, this project has just begun and we are planning to obtain patent in the future. So please understand that we cannot disclose technical details. I thank you for your attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Izumi. So, to introduce your Rice GX Satellite project, especially aiming at the disseminating the large paddy water management for large paddy area. For example, here 60 hectare as a single paddy field. So we have 5 minutes for the discussion. Okay.
Ray Yang from FFTC. It's a very interesting project and incorporating irrigation systems in the project and for the water management. I'm wondering that the Cambodia, a lot of rice production area affected by the flooding during the rainy seasons along the Mekong River. So how do you also deal with the flooding facilities, or how do you deal with the situation? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good question. In our project, we plan to carry out intermittent irrigation in both the rainy season and in dry season. It may seem difficult to implement intermittent irrigation in rainy season, but based on our research result, we believe it is possible to adequately control the water level even in the rainy season because of the infrastructure condition of our target study area. Thank you very much.
Yes, now we focus on the irrigation, but also drainage is also important. I mean, artificial drainage. Of course, in Japan, farmer opens a ditch outlet of water and apply artificial drainage for the mid-season drainage. But for AWD, our priority is saving water. But how about in wet season, rainy season, so much water? If we can remove such water, we can reduce methane and get a higher yield. So this is just an idea, but we should think about the drainage. Okay, next one from Indonesia. You? Oh, okay.
Okay, thank you. My name is Sri Mulyani. I'm from Ministry of Agriculture of Indonesia. Thank you, Dr. Taro Izumi. I think Cambodia is the same situation in Indonesia. Currently, we have the project about the climate smart agriculture, especially to alternate and wet drying and or intermittent and other technology to increase the productivity, production, and farmer income, and how we can reduce of greenhouse gas emission. About the project SIMUP. SIMUP is climate smart agriculture project, and we collaboration about the World Bank and IEB. Okay, maybe the same with your project in Cambodia. Oh, yes. Our question, what is the major problem to scaling up about the how you can implementation greenhouse gas emission with the scaling up in Paddy's field? Okay, and the second, how do you solve the social problem of people who don't want to implement a water management system to reduce of greenhouse gas emission? Because in Indonesia, the project about the CSA to increase productivity and reduce of greenhouse gas emission, in the implementation, we have the result about we can increase the productivity about 0.88 ton ton per hectare, and then we can reduce of greenhouse gas emission about 34% if we compare with the non CSA. Yes, but to implementation to scaling up implementation for to reduce of greenhouse gas emission, we have difficult to farmer. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for your question. I think the key is to scale up and disseminate the AWD technology for large paddy area. In my understanding, the key is the development of agricultural infrastructure, such as irrigation and drainage facilities. So, because we are the research institute, so we are collaborating with international organizations such as ADB and the Mekong River Commission in this project. So we hope ADB will scale up and this using the project result and scale up, we hope. Thank you very much.
Okay, last one.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Izumi, for the presentation. My question is about on the control of the water using ICT. Did you develop this one, or the one we saw in NARO is the one you have used it? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Question. Yes, water management system is developed by NARO, and we will apply NARO's technology to Cambodia based on the level of development of infrastructure in Cambodia. So we will modify this system for Cambodia. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Izumi. Please give a big hand to him. Okay, we will close this session.
Thank you very much for all the presenter and also the moderator, Dr. Minamikawa and Dr. Hayashi. So now we are going to have the break time until 3:30. Coffee and tea will be prepared outside in the conference room. Please come back to your seat by 3:30. Thank you.